Welcome to Conversational Cowboys. This is going to be some videos I'm going to make about conversations, how to have amazing, meaningful, alive, connecting, loving conversations. Could be at work, in your projects you're working on, it could be at home, or with your friends, or your family, or relationship, all of those things. Conversations are part of our lives, and we can either sit around and blame people and be resentful that we're not having the kind of conversations that make our hearts come alive and make us sing, make our souls sing, or we can actually do something about it and start learning how to create what we want in our life. So, this first episode, I'm going to talk about shooting first. This is rule number one of Conversational Cowboys. Basically, when you're in a conversation, a common pattern that I have observed is some people get together, you go and sit down in a cafe, and then there's a silence. For a little tiny window of moment, there's a gap emerges, a gap to silence, nothingness, the unknown. Anything is possible. But what happens when our egos, which in possibility management we talk about our box and our gremlin, what happens when we come into contact with that little gap of silence, that little moment of nothingness? Well, our whole system goes crazy, and other people's system goes crazy, and are like, oh my God, we've got to fill this as quickly as possible. We can't have this silence. This is the worst thing you could possibly ever imagine. Because it's really scary for a lot of people, me included, to be in a silent space with people, or be in a space where nothing is happening. There's nothing happening. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe we're not even friends in the first place. We don't have anything to talk about. Why are we even here? What's the point? And so shooting first is really about getting there the moment getting in there before everyone's boxes and gremlins, yours included. Yours is like the worst perpetrator of bullshit known to man. You get in there, you wrestle the conversation away from before the boxes and gremlins can even get their teeth in. You've got hold of the conversation and you're shooting first. You're saying, I want to talk about this. I want to explore this question. And you just let something come up that's not from your box and gremlin, but from some other part of you. You just create something in the moment before everyone, yours included, survival strategy jumps in. And another really important part of this is not to go in blind. Well, it's not always a rule, because sometimes going in blind can be fun and more of an adventure. But if you're going to have a conversation with people, with anyone, for any project, do you have the clarity about why you're having the conversation, what you want to have out of it, what you want to get out of it? Because if you don't know what you want to get out of it, then probably it's going to be an unconscious conversation, which means it's going to serve the underworlds of you and the other person. There's probably some shadow reason why you want to have the conversation in the first place. Maybe you want to get something from the person, you want to exploit them in some way. Maybe there's something that they give you that allows you to avoid yourself. There's some gossip or mental masturbation that allows you to avoid confronting who you really are and feeling your feelings and expressing what's really going on in relationship with this person. So that's my second cowboy rule. Don't go in blind. And what you can do, there's sort of two ways that I try to not go in blind. One is thinking about a question. What is the central question that I want to explore with this person? What is the central question that's alive for me in this relationship? So I have this idea that in any relationship, there is a central question that's wanting to be talked about. There's some conversation that is wanting to happen out of this relationship right now, in this moment. And you can find that. You can go and discover it. And yeah, so that's the first thing, is about the question. Live questions for me, live questions for them, for us. And then the second thing is about, all right, are there actually, maybe it's not a question, maybe it's actually qualities that I want to have in this space. So in possibility management, we talk about bright principles like connection or integrity or transformation or adventure or discovery. So what are the qualities of space that I want to create with this person, or in this meeting, or with these people? And can I hold that right at the beginning of the space? Like, you could do it together and have this moment. I think basically you want to have this moment at the beginning of all spaces where you get on the same page, so that neither of you is blind to what the conversation is about. You don't go in blind, but you also don't let your conversational spar partner be blind themselves. You make sure, I want to know what you want to talk about. Because otherwise, they're just going to be riding on your adventure. All right, that was Conversational Cowboys Part 1. And remember, shoot first. Don't go in blind.